Thank you for joining me. So today is, in less than a week from today, I should say, the Democrats will be taking over the Congress, the House. And I think that it's reasonable to assume that they're going to try to impeach President Trump. And given the forces that are arrayed against the president, both the Democrats in the House, the Mueller thugs and their Gestapo tactics, the internationalists, the top 1% wealthiest, the powerful left-wing ruling class, I think that it is very possible, even probable, that they might succeed, God forbid, and they may take out Trump. How is this going to affect the country? Well, on the surface of it, it's going to be very bad news, of course. We're going to lose one of the great champions of our national state and of freedom. But I would suggest that President Trump is more than just a leader. He is a counter-revolutionary, and in that capacity, he has led a movement that has been germinating really forever, but really began to take root probably in the 1960s, certainly in the 1980s and 90s, by which Americans seek to do the logical thing, reassert our national rights, our sovereign rights as a nation, to expect our elected officials who represent our interests to do just that, represent our interests, do what's best for our nation and for our own people. And this is why they despise Trump and why they need to take him out, because he has not only led this movement, but he has been elected, and he is implementing the movement. He is trying to do normal and natural things that any sovereign nation would do, that any person would do, such as secure the national state by securing the national border. I mean, former Secretary of State John Kerry understands this as he seeks to build a wall around his own house. It's normal to want to make sure that we have control over who enters our national home, just like we want to be sure we control who enters our private home. That is a normal and natural thing, and certainly presidents in the past have given it lip service so they could get elected. But President Trump is the first president to actually mean it. He hasn't lied in the real sense. He has tried to move forward in order to accomplish this. You know, they like to say that he lies because he exaggerates about the numbers of people that might come to his rallies, and that's true, and that's too bad. But in the big sense, he is more honest than anyone, I think, in my lifetime who has taken national office. He means it when he says he wants to lead America in the direction that any normal, natural state and society would go, and that is to operate in the national interests. He wants to create economic growth inside the country to help all Americans, particularly minorities, so that we can realize the American dream. And he's doing it by trying to lower taxes and reduce onerous regulation on business and having generally a pro-business attitude, not to mention developing trade agreements with foreign nations that favor the United States and withdrawing America from this globalist, internationalist, perpetual war by reducing America's military footprint around the world. These are the kinds of changes that, I personally could only have dreamed of, but certainly Americans are waking up to across the political spectrum in terms of their wisdom. And I think that because of that, President Trump is the leader of a movement, a counter-revolutionary movement, a reassertion of national sovereignty, as opposed to the left-wing revolutionaries who want to merge the United States into a province of the world and redistribute our economic success to the rest of the world. And for that reason, I think that even if, God forbid, they take out President Trump, and I believe that they very well might, because, again, we're talking about very powerful forces here, we will continue. The revolution, the counter-revolution will continue because it's too late. The genie is out of the bottle. This is like trying to stop the American Revolution, which also, in the real sense, was a counter-revolution. It was a reassertion of the sovereign rights of the citizen. It was a conservation of ideology and of methodology and institutions that enhanced American success and growth. It was a reassertion of American individual identity as well as national identity. And the American Revolution thus could not be stopped, and neither can the Trump revolution, or I would call it counter-revolution, be stopped, even if, God forbid, they are successful in stopping President Donald Trump. So my prayer is that they fail. I believe that it's going to be a very, very dicey period, especially in the first months when you have this coup d'etat, this thug Mueller coming out with his report, and there are other very serious dangers that stand in the way of our continuing our freedom and our growth. But ultimately, it's too late for the left-wing establishment, not only in this country, by the way, but in the world. Look at Brexit in England, the new government coming in Brazil, and even in Mexico. These are governments that are resonating. I mean, Modi in India, they are resonating with this idea of the national rights of a people. So, God willing, we shall move forward and not have any major setbacks. But either way, let's understand the forces that are arrayed against us, and let's understand in clear terms who we are and what we represent. Thank you for watching, everybody.